every day we drink coffee, right? If you have a drop of coffee spill on the table after water evaporates, you see a coffee stain, and often called coffee ring. And a subset of coffee ring phenomena is the formation of concentric coffee rings, multiple concentric rings.
Engineering practices often mimic natural processes, and materials scientist Zhiqun Lin offers a slight wrinkle on this technique by applying it to a mundane, man-made phenomenon.
But still, those rings are stochastic, irregular. So in order to take advantage of evaporation as a very simple non-lithography technique to create well-ordered structures, they may have numerous technological applications. You have to control the evaporative flux, the solution concentration, and the interfacial interaction between the solute and the substrate.
By confining a drop of solution containing non-volatile solids between a curved upper surface and a flat substrate, then adjusting this geometry in microscopic increments, Lin discovered that the drying of the solution at the capillary edge created a series of concentric rings composed of the deposited solids. Those solids could be anything from polymers to nanocrystals to conductive polymer-based nanofibers, even DNA-based nanocomposites, whatever might be needed for applications in photonics, electronics, optoelectronics, biosensors, nanotechnology, and biotechnology, and at a fraction of the cost of other methods.
My technology actually has certain advantages over the other techniques. For example, lithography techniques. So for lithography techniques, you need expensive equipment to do the fabrication. And what I need is only two pieces of surface. One is upper curved surface, the other one is lower flat silicon substrate or ITO substrate. They are flat, transparent. And I don't need expensive equipment. And this process is very simple and robust. And it is a one-step technique to give you hundreds of thousands of well-ordered structures.
It is, in fact, the synergy between this evaporation-driven self-assembly process at the microscopic scale and spontaneous self-assembly of the building block nanoconstituents at the nanoscopic scale that determines the specific functionality of a given architecture. Lately, Lin has adapted and applied these principles of nanoscopic self-assembly in a quest to offer an efficient alternative to titanium dioxide or TiO2 nanoparticle films in solar energy applications.
I want to use these nanocrystals as a sensitizer to prepare so-called nanocrystal sensitized TiO2 nanotube solar cells. You may know the concept of dye-sensitized solar cell. So currently in this dye-sensitized solar cell, they use TiO2 nanoparticle film as a photoanode, and they use organic dye as a sensitizer. The practical problem for this type of solar cell may be, first of all, the random dispersion of nanoparticles in this TiO2 nanoparticle film. That can lead to the scattering of free electrons and electron trapping at interfaces.
Lin seeks to replace these random nanoparticles with a stable, continuous pathway for electrons made up of uniformly arrayed TiO2 nanotubes that have been seeded with highly semiconducting materials such as quantum dots. Quantum dots, he says, offer multiple advantages over organic dyes, including their ability to absorb a wider spectrum of sunlight and even to produce more than one electron for each photon absorbed by the cell. Together with the highly regular architecture of the self-assembling TiO2 nanotube arrays, this synergistic combination has the potential to significantly increase the efficiency of thin-film solar cells, eventually surpassing the 11% conversion efficiency of today's dye-sensitized cells. Starting at just over 4% efficiency, Lin soon increased that rate to over 5%, and earlier this year, one of his students used an oxygen plasma treatment to increase that gain to 7.37%.
Of course, it is not 11% yet as compared to current dye-sensitized solar cell, but this is just our early investigation. I'm very confident someday we will be getting a device with higher efficiency, efficiency higher than 11%.
Lin's novel approaches to self-assembling materials have gained significant recognition from his peers. The young researcher has recently been featured on the covers of leading journals in materials and chemistry, as well as winning a $400,000 career award from the National Science Foundation to refine the theoretical underpinnings of his work. So pour yourself another cup of coffee. It just might stimulate your own creativity.